Yes, I'm starting to dislike him. Just off the fact that he's fake. He's fake.
Tank Davis revealed Ryan Garcia's deception during one of his interviews. He continued by explaining why he had grown so distasteful of Kingry.
And try to make him like a saint. Like, I'm cool with him believing in God, but we know for sure that what you do, like you can't, come on, bro.
Devin Haney, Kingry's opponent on April 20th, similarly despises the well-known boxer and delivered a powerful speech to the crowd during their face-off on GQ Sports.
The world needs to tune in. The world is going to see me beat down Ryan Garcia, get him out of boxing, because he's definitely not a good role model and not a guy that, you know, the younger generation should be looking at. They should be looking at guys like me.
Though Tank and Devin are ardent opponents of Ryan Garcia, what did they have to say about the King Ryan, and did they think he was a negative impact on the sport? Stay tuned and observe as we uncover the truth in today's video. Container: the reason Davis despises the boxing star so much was made clear to him in his interview with Complex from last year. Tank exposed Kingry thoroughly and didn't hold back. Tank and Kingry's animosity is more than just their typical rivalry. It's a long-standing, ingrained dislike. Prior to the bout, in July of last year, Tank had defeated the well-known boxer by knockout in the 7th round. In an interview with Complex, Tank revealed his resentment toward Garcia. Tank didn't always despise Kingry, but his animosity for Garcia started when he saw her not just as a rival, but also as someone who had misrepresented him to the public and media in the days before their fight. Davis claimed that after seeing Garcia's actions and remarks in public, his contempt for Garcia increased. Davis claims that Garcia creates a public persona that is inconsistent with his private behavior, which includes engaging in nightlife and other pursuits that run counter to his image as a saint.
A person, but it's just so much he was doing. Like, he was telling people, like, I put in a contract that he can't drink water or eat for 3 days. Like, that is
not true?
Crazy.
Davis is especially hurt by Garcia's attempts to portray him as the antagonist because of his boxing background. He contends that this story is untrue and detrimental to his reputation. The claim made by the individual is that Garcia's self-portrayal as a morally superior person is inconsistent with his private life, which runs counter to his public persona. The Tank also exposed Kingry as a hypocrite during the interview. In the sport, Garcia has established a solid image as a clean, upstanding role model because to his deft handling and captivating charm. His well-curated social media presence emphasizes discipline, dedication, and a commitment to upholding an honorable image while presenting a persona that appeals to a broad audience. Davis, on the other hand, disputes this characterization and presents an alternative image of Garcia's lifestyle, one that is at odds with that of the disciplined athlete and involves nightlife and gambling. Individual Garcia's initiatives, the source of Davis's complaints is what he perceives to be a sharp contrast between Garcia's public admonition of virtue and his personal excesses. He charges Garcia of acting in ways that go against his public persona, but yet controlling it in order to win over supporters and the media. Davis claims that Garcia's dishonesty is not only a personal shortcoming, but also an immoral ruse that has the potential to mislead both supporters and critics. Since sportsmen frequently serve as role models in sports, the charge of hypocrisy is especially strong in this context. Particularly in a sport as widely recognized and culturally influential as boxing, an athlete's marketability, fan base, and influence can all be greatly impacted by the genuineness of their image. According to Davis, Garcia's actions have the potential to damage the reputation of the sport by giving young fans who may look up to him a wrong impression of him. Moreover, the problem of hypocrisy touches on more general issues of veracity and the formation of public persona in a time where performance is just as important as personal branding. The veracity of one's public persona has evolved into a battlefield. Thus, wider societal concerns regarding the nature of celebrity and the obligations public individuals have are reflected in the conflict between Davis and Garcia. The rivalry between these two has evolved beyond simple hatred. It is now a struggle between public and private identities, with each fighter trying to control the narratives that are spread among fans and the media. And it wasn't just Davis who revealed Kingry to be the total reverse of what he seems to be. Prior to their fight, Devin Haney also highlighted Ryan's hypocrisy. Kingry has had a lot of controversy in the run-up to the clash on April 20. Garcia's readiness to fight is called into question since he has taken verbal shots at Devin and his dad had a serious mental health scare. A TikToker was also present. Kingry's dangerous gambling addiction is revealed by Bryce Hall.
$1,000 from me, but I know about the poker games that he's losing millions of dollars at because I've played at some of those games and they tell me how much of a fucking fish he is. Basically, he just throws money. He's like...
Paul revealed Garcia's predilection for high-stakes gaming, exposing that for the past few years, Garcia has lost millions of dollars at the opulent casinos of Las Vegas. In addition to grabbing the interest of both supporters and detractors, this shocking revelation has brought up important concerns for Garcia's mental health and financial security. The ramifications of Hall's disclosures are numerous. First, Garcia's financial situation is the immediate cause for concern. Even for someone who makes millions of dollars from his fights as a professional athlete, losing large quantities of money can be extremely stressful. The second, and possibly more important, concern is Garcia's psychological preparation for his next matchup with Devin Haney. Garcia might get sidetracked from his preparation and conditioning by the stress of a large financial loss, which would give Haney an inadvertent advantage. It is not simply Garcia's gambling habit that is troublesome. Hall's revelation of Garcia's gambling problems raised questions about Garcia's suitability as a role model for boxing fans. Devin claims that Kingry made a number of divisive remarks. The Dream clarified in one interview why his fight with Garcia turned personal. He claimed to have mentioned something about my faith. For me, that was a turning point. He is aware of his words. I would rather not repeat it. It's become a personal battle for him to defend himself now that he's conscious of his statements and their intended meaning toward me. In response, Garcia said, I was able to hear some of his commentary. I want to start by saying that I have never disregarded his religion. That's not something I would consider. I will share my words with you. I said Merry Christmas, and it seemed like a slight to him. Did I know that Christmas is not celebrated by Muslims? No, I forgot to mention that. Devin, my photographer, is Muslim, and there's no animosity between us at all. Let's avoid bringing religion into our conflict. It amazes me why you do. In his newest interview with GQ Sports, Haney publicly lambasted Garcia, challenging his viability as a role model for upcoming athletes and spectators alike. According to Haney Garcia, he depicts himself as a paragon of virtue, a disciplined, industrious athlete who lives a clean and responsible life. However, Haney contends that this image is not totally accurate and does not portray the complexity of Garcia's lifestyle choices, including issues like his nighttime activities and gambling tendencies, as mentioned by Hall in his assertions. Haney emphasizes the value of sportsmen being honest and truthful, particularly when they are placed in a position of influence over young fans. He calls for role models in the sport that not only excel in their physical performance, but also lead lives that are aligned with the principles they preach publicly. This, he believes, is where Garcia falls short. Haney says that aspiring boxers and their supporters would be better off looking up to persons who actually embody the ideas they preach, athletes who walk the talk, and Haney's assessment extends beyond personal frustrations and touching on a bigger ethical question within sports, the responsibilities of players as public characters. He highlights the potential damage that could be done when public individuals fail to live up to the clean images they create for Haney. The integrity of one's character and the consistency between one's public and private personas are vital not just for personal authenticity, but for the health and survival of boxing as a sport. Maybe you're thinking heading into this fight, it's might get murdered attempting to kill me. You know what I'm saying. Sometimes when you want something so strongly, it backfires on you, so we'll see. You know he may run into something that he won't and that he can't get out of by establishing himself as an alternate role model. In addition to breaking with Garcia's methodology, Haney is criticizing the superficiality and hypocrisy he believes to be pervasive in some areas of the sport. This resolute position from a fellow boxer highlights the continuous discussion in the sport regarding the place of sportsmen in society and the expectations placed on them both inside and beyond the ring. Concerns regarding King's influence on the sport have been raised by the drama involving Davis, Garcia, and now Devin Haney. The rivalry between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney on a personal level has created a compelling storyline that draws viewers in and could boost ticket sales, pay-per-view purchases, and the sport's prominence in general. This change in emphasis from athletic competition to public relations could jeopardize the integrity of boxing. The risk is that boxing becomes only a stage for personal grudges, and the excitement around fights could overshadow the sport's value as a methodical and calculated activity. In addition, these rivalries may serve as a model for aspiring athletes, who may then feel that intensifying rivalry is a legitimate way to get notoriety and financial gain. This might foster a culture in which aspiring boxers are driven to fabricate or exaggerate fights in order to garner attention, which could further polarize the sport. However, what are your opinions on this?